Hello, good morning, everyone. It's Friday morning. Yes, it is. Friday morning. Yes, it is. Yeah. Nothing like a good, fresh cup of coffee in the morning time as the sun comes up and all the birds are chirping. Maybe that's a cricket. I'm not for sure. Anyway, it's good to be alive. It is good to be alive on this Friday morning. You ever get a burden for someone? You see someone or you see a situation, and all of a sudden your heart is smote. You're overwhelmed with compassion. Or maybe you just wake up one day, or you're going through your day, and all of a sudden somebody that you know comes to mind, and you feel something toward them, something like compassion, or you grieve for them, or you just have a certain feeling that they're in need. Well, that's a burden, or that's part of a burden. That's what describes a burden, and many times that comes from the Lord. Again, you can be going about your life, and all of a sudden somebody or some situation will just come to mind, and immediately you'll feel this intense desire to do something or to reach out. Whether it's a hurricane victim, or just a family member, or maybe somebody you work with, or somebody you've seen, somebody at church. Again, a real burden is something that God gives you to reach out to that person and do something. It could be just a phone call. Say, hey, I'm calling to check on you. Had you on my mind today. Just calling to check and see how you're doing. Or it could be actually taking them a meal, or going over to their house and doing some yard work, or there's 100 different things that a burden encompasses, because it's important to get a burden and to have a burden for people, and no doubt you have, but then it's important when you get the burden to do something with it, to take action with that burden. And it can be something so simple. It can be a pat on the back. It could even be a smile. But usually it's something even more than that. Maybe you're supposed to give that person something. Or maybe you're supposed to pray for them. Or in some way or another, sit down with them and just be a listening ear. There's many different aspects to a burden that's God-given. And today, if you're awake and alive and everything's just lovely and you don't have a burden for anyone else, then it's time to pray that God give you a burden for someone. Right now, there's a lot of needy people out there, a lot of hurting people, and no doubt you cannot minister to everybody. No doubt you cannot take the weight of the world upon your shoulders. But there's something, even if you have little resources, there's something you can do. If God gives you a burden, there's something you can do. And it doesn't have to cost money to take care of that desire that God has given you for that particular person or particular situation, to do something to help. Burden, having a burden. And often that burden is not lifted until you actually go and do what you're supposed to do to fulfill that calling, that burden that's been placed upon you. Sometimes just doing one thing, that burden will lift. Other times that burden will linger. Pastors get a burden for a community. Missionaries get a burden for a particular country or a particular people. And often that burden stays with them for a lifetime. So today, again, I just want to encourage you. If you don't have a burden, ask God to give you a burden. Because again, there's a lot of people out there that really desperately today need your help in some way or another. It could be as simple as a phone call, or a smile, or a hug, or a kind word, or just a listening ear. And of course, when you get a burden for someone, prayer is always in order. And it's important to whoever you get a burden for, or whatever situation you get a burden for, to pray to God about that situation and for that person. And prayer is always in order when you get a burden. God bless you, my friend. Hey, have a great Friday and a great weekend. Hope to see you in church on Sunday. Thank you so much for watching Coffee with the Pastor. And thank you for sharing Coffee with the Pastor with your friends and family members. Appreciate you so much.